Let me show you how to move, let me show you how to get that bad. You ain't never coming last. Fuck your man, you know this gon' make him.
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining, thanks for joining. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for sticking with us. So for today's tutorial, we're going to be making a tutorial of this most request cap, and we named the cap Sora cap. So for today's tutorial, it's not going to be a beginner friendly tutorial. Sorry about that. If you don't know how to make double crochet, if you don't know how to make a magic ring, you might want to check that online and then come back for this tutorial. So we're going to be using a 4mm hook. We're going to be using our tape rule, and I'm going to be unraveling this project for the cap. Since the tutorial has been requested a couple of times and I don't have any new yarn in stock, I made this project recently and I didn't like how it turned out. So we're just going to be unraveling this and then we're going to be making a cap. So let's put this aside. And also, I'm on nails, so I don't know how convenient this is going to be for me, but I'll try as much as possible to make it convenient so you understand what I'm saying. So first off, you want to make your magic ring. And if you don't know how to make this, I'm sorry, you might want to take a tutorial on that. Okay, here we go. So after making your magic ring, you want to make a chain of 2, 1, 2, and then yarn over into this magic ring. We're going to be making 10 double crochets. So this is my first double crochet. I'm going to go on to make 9 more double crochets into this magic ring. So that is 2, 3. So now I have my 10 double crochets. So what I want to do is I'm just going to drag this to set this. So I'm going to drag it like this. Just keep pulling till the circle is closed. Yeah, and once your circle is closed, you're going to make a slip stitch into this first chain stitch you made at the beginning. And so just going to make a slip stitch. So to make this cap, you need to know the basic patterns like double crochet, slip stitch, and the rest. And for this cap, we're just going to be working with double crochets. So I just want to tie this up so it doesn't loosen up when I'm working. I don't know how convenient this nails is going to be, but I'm going to try as much as possible to make it convenient. So I'm just going to tie this one more time. And yeah, so after tying this, you want to make a chain of 2. So at the beginning of every row, we're going to be making a chain of 2. So make a chain of 2, 1, 2, and into the very first stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So into this first stitch, I'm going to make 1, and into that same stitch, we're going to make another double crochet, a total of 2 double crochets. So into every stitch, we're going to place 2 double crochets there, and in total, we should have a total of 20 double crochets because the magic ring will make 10 double crochets, and now we're making an increase of 2, so we should have 20 double crochets at the end of the row. So you want to follow up with that pattern, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. Okay guys, so I'm at the end of the row, and what I want to do is I just want to slip stitch into this chain stitch I made at the beginning of the row. So I have a total of 20 stitches here. So I'm going to slip stitch like this, and I'm done with my second row. And anytime I'm working in circles, I always turn my work. So I always turn. Some people just work, I think, like that, but I turn my work. So to begin with row 3, we're going to make a chain of 2, but it's slightly different from row 2. So make a chain of 2, 1, 2, then turn your work. Then into this very first stitch, I'm going to place 2 double crochets there. So I yarn over into this first stitch, 1 double crochet, and then into the same stitch, another double crochet. So I've made an increase into this very first stitch, and then yarn over into the next stitch. I'm just going to place 1 double crochet there, and then into the next stitch, I'm going to place 2 double crochets there, and then into this next stitch, I'm going to place 1 double crochet there. So the pattern is, if you place 2 double crochet into the first stitch, the next stitch is going to be 1 double crochet, then the next stitch will be 2 double crochets, and then the next stitch will be 1 double crochet. So you want to keep up with this pattern, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. Okay guys, so I'm done with my third row, and you want to go on and slip stitch into the chain 2 stitch you made at the beginning of the row, just like that. Then we're going to make a chain of 2, 1, 2. So remember, every time you chain 2, what follows is turning of your work. So instead of working like this, I turn my work and work the opposite direction. So for our row 3, okay, for row 4, you're going to yarn over into the very first stitch. You're going to place 2 double crochets there, 1, 2, just like that. Then into the next stitch, you're going to place 1 double crochet, and into the next stitch, you're going to place 1 double crochet. So this row is slightly different from the third row. The third row was just 2 double crochet, 1 double crochet, then an increase. But now for this, we're going to place 2 double crochets into the first stitch, then we're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, then into the next stitch we're going to have an increase, which is going to be 2 double crochet. So I'm going to try to explain this all over again so you understand what I'm saying. So now after placing 2 double crochets into this stitch, the next 2 stitches is going to be 1 double crochet each. So 1 double crochet, then into the next 1 double crochet. Then after you've had 1 double crochet each, the next stitch is going to have 2 double crochets. So this is just slightly different from the third row. The third row was an increase, then 1 double crochet. But this fourth row is an increase, then 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches, then an increase, then 2 double crochets into the next 2 different stitches. So guys, so I'm done with my fourth row, and we're going to slip stitch into this chain 2 stitch to end the row. Then afterwards, we're going to make a chain of 2. 1, 2, turn your work. And for row 5, into the very first stitch, we're going to place 2 double crochets there. So 1, 2, and then this is just like a repetition of row 4, but it's slightly different. So into the next 3 stitches, we're going to place 1 double crochet each. So we have 1, 2, 3. Then into the next stitch, we're going to make an increase. So into that same stitch, you're going to make 2 double crochet. Then into the next 3 stitches, you have 1 double crochet each. So that is 1, 2, 3. So just for clarity's sake, let me explain this. When you start your row, into the very first stitch, you're placing 2 double crochets. Then into the next 3 stitches, you place 1 double crochet each. Then followed by an increase, that is 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Then 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Then followed by an increase, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. So follow up with this pattern, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay guys, so I'm done with row 5, and we're going to make a slip stitch into this chain 2 stitch to end our row. So a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 2 to begin a new row. 1, 2. Then we're going to turn our work as usual. We're going to yarn over into the next stitch. We're going to place 2 double crochets there. So 1, 2. And row 6 is similar to row 5. So into the next 4 stitches, you're going to place 1 double crochet each. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, then we have 4. So after your 4th stitch, then you're going to make an increase into the next by putting 2 double crochets into the same stitch, then follow up by 1 double crochet each into the next 4 stitches. So 1, that is 2, 3, and then 4. Then into the next stitch, you're going to make an increase, 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So you want to follow up with this pattern, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay guys, so I'm done with my 6th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to slip stitch to end the row. So for me now, I'm done increasing. I don't make any increases after this. And when you measure with your tape rule, you should have a total of, I don't know if you can see this, but you should have a total of 5.5. So it depends on your tension. You might have to do maybe one more increase row to have this. But if your tension is like mine and you have a total of 5.5, that is fine for the increase, because you don't want the cap to be too big. You want it to sit very firmly on your head, if that's a word. So we have 5.5, and that is fine. So now we're no longer going to be making any increases. So moving forward, we're just going to be working 1 DC into every stitch. So for this row, we're going to chain 2, turn our work into the very first stitch, make 1 double crochet, and moving forward, we're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch. So just go on and work 1 double crochet into every stitch, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. Guys, so I'm done with my 1 row of no increase. So now we're going to slip stitch to end this row, and I think this is our 7th row, if I'm not mistaken. You count. So this is 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is our 7th row. And after your 1 row of no increase, you should notice that your cap is starting to curve a bit, and it might look small. It might look small, that oh, this is going to be small, but trust me, it's going to expand. If you have a dummy, once you work few rows, you can just try it on your dummy head. Is going to expand, or you can try it on your head. But pardon me, if your head is a little bit big, you might want to make an increase to like 6 or 6.5. 6 is fine, or 6.5. Yeah, that's fair. That's if your head is big. But if your head is just a normal size, 5.5 is fine for this. So now we have a total of 7 rows, and the total rows we need for this cap is 13 rows. And now we have a total of 7. So you are going to be working 1 double crochet into every stitch for the next 6 more rows. So 6 plus 7, that's a total of 13 rows. And you're just going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch till you have a total of 13 more rows. Till you have a total of 13 rows, or till you have it, or you're going to work 1 double crochet into every 6 for the next 6 more rows. So in total, you should have a total of 13 rows. And then I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. Okay guys, so I'm done with my 13 row, and this is what the cap looks like currently. I know by now you're currently looking at it that, oh, this is more like a baby's cap and this is not going to fit my head. But first off, let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 rows, and currently the length of this cap is 6 inches. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go and try this on my mannequin's head. I'm going to wear this on my dummy's head, then it's going to expand. Then I'll come back to teach you guys how to make the band for the cap. So you can do that as well. You can start to try it on your head, or you can start to wear it on your dummy's head, then come back, or make the band of the cap so it can expand before we start the band. So guys, after trying it on my mannequin's head, this is how big it is, and has expanded, and this length is fine by me. So now let's measure after trying it on my mannequin's head. So we still have 6. Okay, we have 5.9, like that, almost 6 but not 6, so that's fine. So if it was too short on your head, you can decide to add maybe one more row, but if it was not, then you can leave it at that. The caps I made before this is the length I like, and so I'm going to be sticking with this. So now we're going to be making our band for the cap. So what you just want to do is you want to make a chain of 3. So for the band, every time we're going to start a new row, we're going to make a chain of 3. So chain 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, just like what we do always. Turn your work, and now we are going to be working front loop and back loop. Let me try to zoom this in so you can see it completely. So we're going to be working front post and back post. Sorry, I said loops. So we're going to be working front post and back post, and starting off, we're going to be starting with our front post. So you want to yarn over, and then you're going to go into the front loop like this. So instead of going into this front stitch, we're going to go into the front loop like this, and we're going to make a double crochet. So the pattern is 1 front post, 1 back post. So now what you are going to do for the back post is you are going to go from under, for the front post we went within like this. Now for the back post, we're also going to do that, but we're going to do that backward. So you yarn over, then you're going to go from under, and you're going to enter the other side like this. Then you're going to make a double crochet. So currently we have 1 front post and 1 back post. So we're going to repeat it. So anytime you have front and back, after you stop with back, the next thing that is going to follow is going to be front post. So now we're going to make our front post. The front post is actually simple. I think the back post is more like the issue. So I'll try to explain, and let me try to zoom this a bit. Try to zoom this so you can see it. So we're going to yarn over, then we're going to go into the front loop like this. We're going to make 1 double crochet. So we just made a front post. Next, we're going to make a back post. And to make your back post, after yarning over, you're going to go from the back. You're going to enter from the back, then you're going to go back outward, and you're just going to make your back post. So I'll try to explain this one more time, then I'll go and do the rest offline. So we have back post here. What we're going to have next is going to be front post. So for your front post, just go in like this and then make your double crochet. Then for the back post, you're going to go from under, then go inside here just like this, and you're going to make a double crochet. So what you're going to do is, when you have a front post, you have a back post. When you have a front post, you have a back post. So you just want to follow up with that pattern till you finish up the row, and then I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. Okay guys, so I'm done with my first row of front post and back post, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is actually very divine. And when you have front, you have back, front, back, front, back. So now to end up this row, we're going to slip stitch into this chain 3 stitch we made at the beginning, just like this. And now we're not turning our work since we're just working on the band, so we're just going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And starting off, we started with our front post, so you're just going to go into this your front post and make another front post just like that, just like the way we have it here. And then the next is the back post, so we're going to go from under, then go to the other side, come out, and then make your double crochet. Now the next on the list is the front post. We're going to make our front post just like this, then we're going to make our back post just like the way I taught you guys. And this is our second row of front post, and we need a total of 3 rows for our front post. So once you are done with this row we're working on, which is the second row, you're going to make another row of front post again, and then I'm going to meet you guys at the end of our 3rd row for our front and back post. So currently your work should be looking like this. Can you see the band of the cap? So okay guys, so I'm done with my 3 rows of front post and back post, and this is what the cap should be looking like currently. So you just want to cut off your yarn. So you want to cut this off. My scissors is not close, so I'm just going to use my hand. I'm used to it already. So to seal off, you just want to pass your yarn like this, and most times I like to seal like 2 to 3 times just to be certain. So this is how I seal off. You can seal off any way that is convenient for you, just like that. So once you're done, just go on, trim off excess yarn, and then you want to put this on your dummy's head, because we're going to be making the braid, the twisting that was on the cap. We're going to be sewing it on a dummy head. If you don't have a dummy head, maybe you can get a cloth, something you can just pack inside, because if you sew just like this, it might be too tight, but when it's on the dummy head, it's actually going to hold it well. So I'm going to trim off this excess yarn, put this on my dummy head, and I'll teach you guys how to make the braid that was on the cap. So this is what the cap looks like after wearing it on my dummy's head. So you want to make sure that the part where you were slip stitching falls to the back, and then this is the front. So after you might have trim off excess yarn and tie loose end, now we want to make the twisted part of the cap, and I'm just going to show you guys how to do that. But make sure that your cap is on your dummy's head because you're going to be sewing this on the dummy's head. So now for the twisting part, you just want to get your yarn, is in twos. So you just want to make sure that you are going to pull it out, that it's going to be very, very long, that when you twist it, it can go around twice. I don't know how to explain this, but you're just going to be bringing your yarn out. You're going to use your eyes to gauge it. So most times it's better it is excess than for it to be too short. So you're just going to bring it out. When you feel like, oh, that is fine enough, you're going to start using this one to cut the other one. So now I already got the length of the yarn I want to use. So this is 2, this is 4, and I'm going to have 12 of this. So this is in 2, so this is 2, this is 4. I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to be using the first length of the yarn to measure the remaining 10, and I got this is my first 4. I'm going to cut this off just like this. I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to start trying to like pull this. So this is going to be 6. So you're just going to repeat this, and this is stopped. So you're going to repeat this till you have a total of 12, and then I'm going to meet you guys. But make sure anything you are pulling out is very, very long to go around. So make sure it's very, very long to go around. So this is 6, and now we're going for 8. So okay guys, so I'm just going to try to explain what I did. So after I got the length I wanted, after getting the length, I cut the yarn into 2. So let's assume this is the length I was working with. I just divided it like this. I folded it, then I cut it into 2. After cutting it into 2, I just folded them inside each other like this to give these braid vibes, like you want to braid your hair. So now after that, I just made sure that all the length is equivalent, and now we're going to be braiding this. So I'm going to teach you guys how to braid this. Okay guys, so after you've gotten the length, now you need something that you'll be able to braid on. So what I do is I just get a piece of yarn, and then I get somewhere that will be convenient to braid on. Then I'm just going to tie this to this. You're going to make sure you tie it firmly, so when you are braiding it doesn't loosen up. And now you're just going to try to attach the other one to this just like this. You want to make sure that is firm as well, and then you're going to tie it. So just make sure it's firm before you tie it. If it's not firm, lose it, and make sure it's very, very firm. Yeah, so this is firm, and I'm just going to tie this. So this is fine. Oh, it's coming off. I think my nails is making it really hard for me. I don't even know how I'm going to braid with my nails. I'll try my possible best. So yeah, I think this is fair enough. So now we're going to start braiding on this. If you can get something else to braid on, that's fine. So now we want to start braiding, and what you are going to do is, this is really, really long. So what you want to do is you just want to add this on this like this, and you're just going to section this into like 3 parts, because what I do is I start with braid first so the twisting doesn't loosen up. So I'm just going to make like maybe like 3 to 4 braid, but make sure that the beginning is really tight because that matters. So that is 1, that is 2, that is 3, that is 3. Okay, that is 4, and that is 5. So now after you've gotten 5, now you're just going to divide them into 2 just like this, and you're going to twist. This part is actually a bit technical because you need to know how to be able to braid or twist to be able to do this, and you want your twisting to be a little bit firm. So now what you're going to do, what I do is I just twist like this, and then you're just going to be twisting it. So this part, you can't really explain this part because you need to know how to twist to be able to do this. So I'm just going to be twisting this like this till I'm done with all the yarn, and so this is how I'm going to carry on. Okay guys, so I'm finally done with the twisting, and it's really long and I still have this end left. I feel like this is fine. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to teach you guys how to seal off this end and how to remove it from where we braided it. So you just want to take a little portion, like maybe 3 to 4. Okay, I think I should shift back a bit so you can see that is actually good. So yeah, so you're just going to take a little portion like this, like 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to try to tie this off. So what I do is I put in one hand and then I roll it like this. Oh, it's not coming out. I put in one hand and then I roll it like this, and then I just pass it through where I kept my hand, and by doing so I'll be able to seal it. I don't know, it's kind of difficult because I'm on nails. So yeah, but if you know how to seal it, you can just seal it in your own way, but this is how I do it. Then I actually tighten that. So we've sealed that the first time. You're going to put your hand like this again, and then you're going to pass it through, and you're just going to bring it out from here. So most times I just try to seal this like 2 to 3 times just to be, very certain. So drag it down to where you sealed it the first time, so they can all be at the same spot. This nails is really stressing me. So that is the second time, and we're just going to do that one more time. So just like the way I told you, pass your hand, you grab this, and then you just pass this through like this, and then you're just going to seal it. So just like this, we've actually sealed this, and we're just going to trim this off. So now how do we remove this from on this strap that it's on? What you want to do is you just want to grab your scissors. So give me a minute, I'm going to grab my scissors. So now, after you've grabbed your scissors, you just want to cut this off, and after cutting that off, you're just going to pull this from it, just like that. And after pulling, you are done. So now what we want to do is we want to attach this to the cap. So this is what I have. I just went on to trim that at the tip, and then this is what your braided braid should look like, if that is even a word. So now we're going to try to attach this to our cap. So you want to grab a needle, so just grab a needle and then thread your needle with the yarn you are using, and I'll meet you guys there. Okay guys, so I have my dummy here with me. I have a safety pin because I'm not close to my stitch marker. So if you don't have your stitch marker, you can make do with your safety pin. And I have my needle. I made a very long thread with my needle. Then I have my twisted band here. I think we should just call that twisted band. So now we want to attach this to our cap. So after you've gotten your cap, after you've gotten the part where the line is at the back, you've gotten the wrong side, what you want to do is the placement of this your twisting. And most times the placement matters a lot, because if you don't place it well, then it tends to come out somehow. So what you want to do is this is where, if you look, this is the back loop, the back post we did, and then this is the front post. So you want to place this twisted band on top of the one double crochet row before the front post and the back post row. So that is how you are going to be able to get where your twisting is supposed to be. So I don't know why this is for you. So this is the first row I started with my front post and back post, and then this is the one double crochet row before my front post and back post. So I'm going to place my twisting just like this. And you see, so now after you've done that, you want to try to tack this, then you do a proper arrangement. So what I do is I pass my thread from at the top here. So I just lift up my cap a bit, then I pass my needle from under like that. So sometimes it's hard, and if you struggle with this, you can as well just remove it and pass it through, but that would be a long journey. So I just pass it through just like this. I'm really struggling with this because of my nails. So yeah, then I'm going to bring this out. So we are good now. Then you want to lay this properly. So you're just going to look for the right surface. For me, this part where I started braiding is the right surface. Yours can be the other side. There is no two way to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass my needle from under, not from on top, from under like this. And then I've tacked this, but if you look at it, it's still lifting, so it's not tacked properly. So I'm just going to go on top of the other stitch. So just like this, just going to go on top of this first stitch here, and then by doing so, I've tacked this completely. So after I've tacked this, I just want to try to like lay this well. So once I get to the front part here, I just used to grab my safety pin or stitch marker, anyone you want to call it. So I just grab my stitch marker and I just try to like, so I've successfully pinned this down because I don't want it lifting when I'm sewing, and so I'm just going to be sewing. So I'm just going to try to teach you guys the method in which I used to sew. Any method that works for you is fine, in as much the work is neat. So I'm on top here, I'm just going to pass it. Mind you, I'm passing it on top of this upper stitch, not the one I lay the twisting on top. Let's assume I lay the twisting on top of this row. I'm passing it from the next row. So that's how I do it. So I'm just going to pass from under, and then okay, let me bring. So I pass my needle from under to the other side of the braid. I don't know if you see this. I pass it directly through both like that. Okay, this is tangling. So I pass it through directly like that, and can you see? And then I just move to the next side of the braid. Then I pass it to the other upper side as well. So, but mind you, I'm not passing it to go inside. I'm passing it for the needle to come out like this, so it can be convenient while working. And then yeah, just try to like sew that. Where is this hair coming from? I think that's from one of my wigs. So can you see it's actually not showing? Then again, I'll pass from here to this other side, just like this. Then I'm just going to sew it like that. And then so when you go from on top, the next place you go from is under. So when you go from on top, the next place you go is under. When you go from under, the next place you go is from on top. Now I'm on top like this. Where I will go with, I'll go from on. And mind you, I'm passing it through this stitch and then passing it into the twisted part so that it sits well, so that it doesn't start lifting up. So you're just going to keep sewing it like this. Then I'll meet you guys where I put my stitch marker. Basically, when I get to my stitch marker, I'm going to follow up with the same thing, but just so we can cross check our work and make sure we're doing it correctly, I'm just going to, follow up with that. So when you go from on top, the next place you go is under. When you go from on top, the next place you go is under. So just like that. Getting to where my stitch marker is, and I'm just going to take this off. Then I'm just going to try to arrange it properly, just like this. And then I'm going to attach my stitch marker to the back here. I'm going to use this to hold it at the back, just like this. And then I'm just going to continue sewing. So this is the ones we've sewn so far. So I'm just going to follow up with this. So so now I'm going from under, just like this. Then I'm going to go into this part here, just like this. Now that I've gone from under, the next place I'm going is from the front. I can't really see this, so I'm going from top like this, just like this. And I'm going to keep sewing it. So just follow up with that pattern, and I'll meet you once I get to the end here. Okay guys, so if you've gotten this far, I want to say well done, and you're doing such a great job. And we're halfway done, so I've gotten to the end here, and now we're about to start sewing the second row. So what you want to do is you just want to lay this over like this, and just like the middle, the way we used our safety pin to hook that, we're also going to try to hook this as well, so it doesn't lift up when we are working. So now we're going to continue sewing just like the way we're doing before, and now we are halfway done with the cap. So we're just going to go from under, we're doing just like this, and also like this. So now for sewing of the second row, you just want to leave a little gap in between, just like this, not way up, just a little gap in between, just like this. And then you want to carry on sewing. So when you go on top, the next place is under. When you go on top, next place is under. When you go under, the next place is on top. So just like that, you want to continue sewing that, and I'm going to meet you guys at the end of the row. So can you see the gap I'm leaving in between? Nothing too much, just little gap, just like this. So carry on with this, and then I'll meet you guys at the end. All right guys, so I'm done sewing, and this is what it looks like currently. So now we're going to try to attach the fringe to this. So you can start from anywhere, but where you're attaching the fringe is the second row you just finished. This is the first, or you can decide to cut this the first row, depending on you. So you just want to flip your hook upside down. Instead of inserting your hook like this, you want to insert it like this. The reason why you're inserting it from under is because you want the fringe to lay down. If you insert it from up, it's going to face upward. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm just going to, I can't really see because of the way I placed my mannequin. I'm just going to try to insert my hook. So please, when you're inserting your hook, make sure you insert it inside it thoroughly, that you don't have any yarn there. And now I have this from the twisting I did before, but if you don't have any leftover, just wrap the yarn on top of something and then cut it to as short as you want. So we're going to be working with 5 strands. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this 5? So this is 3. Okay, this is 5 strands. And once you have them, you're just going to lay it like this. Put your finger in between for easy access. Then just use your hook to drag this from under, and then pull this through it just like this, and then tighten it when you're done with that. You just tighten it like that, just like that. So just like that. So once you insert here, you're going to skip this and then go into the next. So it's just like you're skipping one in between because you don't want it to be too full. You want it to look a little bit scanty. So we just inserted here. We're going to skip this, and then we're going to go from under. So insert your hook thoroughly. Make sure that it can go freely. So once you insert your hook like that, you're going to grab your yarn. You're going to get 5 strands of yarn. So how many is this? This is 4. Going to add one more to that, just like this. You're going to arrange it well. Put your finger in between just like this, and then pass your hook through it. Drag it under. Once you've successfully dragged it under, you're just going to make sure you use your hand to hold all of this, and then pull this through like this, and just tighten it a bit with your hand to secure this properly. So once you've added here, now you are skipping this and then you're moving to the next side. So pass your hook thoroughly, just like that. Grab 5 strands of yarn. This is 5. This is 5. Hold it in your finger like this, with your finger like this. Pass it through, just like this. Pull through, and there you go. So you just want to follow up with this. So currently, this is what your work should be looking like. So you just want to follow up with, guys. So I'm done adding the fringe to the cap, and this is what it's looking like currently. So all that is left now is just for me to trim this fringe to my desired length, and we're going to be done with the cap. So I'm just going to trim this off camera to the length I want, and then I'll come back to show you guys the end result. Okay guys, so this is the end result. If you stayed with us to this present moment, I want to say thank you, and I hope you find this tutorial helpful and useful. Do not forget to hit the subscription button, like, comment, and share. Thank you. So guys, I went on to stretch the fringe because it's a used yarn and it was way too rough for my liking, but the previous caps I made, I didn't stretch them. So it's optional. If you want to stretch yours, you can as well stretch it, and if you don't, you can leave it. So thanks for watching, and bye.